All right, here we go with another Q&A video. An absolute favorite among viewers and haters alike. Let's get started. Is kicking up in the modern world really a thing? From your experience, did you ever feel pressure to do so? Well, to start with, kicking up money is a big part of the mechanics of the mob, and money flows upward and never downwards. Most people in a crew can feel the pressure of kicking up. Naturally, some worse than others. It's almost like handing over dues to be in a gang. Did you ever meet Johnny Hooks? I believe we met at a wake or two, and we never had a conversation past a handshake. Did anyone ever call Dom Truscello Crazy Dom, as he was referred to by the media? Okay, the media did not come up with that nickname, and I may have heard one or two guys call him that, but for the most part, we all just called him Dom. Dom and I at one time got along very, very good and would talk for hours. But when they put the false label on me, he did a complete 180, and I couldn't understand what I did to him, which turned out to be absolutely nothing. Did you know anyone who was into selling bootleg cigarettes? I personally didn't, but most families may have someone handling that racket, and maybe not. If I'm not mistaken, the FBI used one of their informants in the last big Lucchese case who was selling bootleg cigarettes supplied by them. I want to ask about how you carry yourself physically in that life, the way you walk, your hands, etc. Things you picked up and learned in this area. Guys on the street carry themselves differently. I'll say this. If you met me before being inducted, while I was a member, and present day, I act in the same way. In the way I carry myself, walking, talking, etc. Some guys play a role and put up a facade as if speaking like a tough guy truly makes them one. I have a question about associates who cannot be made, whether they're just not Italian or whatnot. Have you known any lifelong associates that do rather well working with the mob in both previous and current times? There are a lot of guys who are associates who can never be inducted, and the ones who excel in that life accept that fact with no resentment. Many associates can be treated with respect and navigate through that life, if only on the outskirts. During your time in that life, did you ever hear of any Lucchese influence over blasters, drillers, miners, Local 29? I did hear of someone having influence in that local, but I can't remember who. What dictates when a racket has to be shared amongst multiple families? In the poker cheating case that recently went down, each family had a rep collecting for their piece of the games. If someone starts something lucrative, whose order is it to be distributed amongst multiple families? Joint ventured rackets will consist of someone representing each family involved. The percentages of who gets what is obviously discussed prior to the racket taking place. That person can either be a member or, in some instances, an associate. Hypothetically, if you decided to take action in the meeting with Joey Cupcakes, where you believe your life might have been in danger, what do you think would have happened afterwards? That's simple. If I would have reacted, and considering I only had a knife, I would have most likely been shot and killed. As the saying goes, never bring a knife to a gunfight, and I could thank Anthony Guzzo for that. The mafia abandoned drug distribution, not out of some moral obligation, as we all know, but because of the heat that it brings. In recent years, a lot of state governments and even the feds have gotten softer on narcotics distribution, at least in certain respects to subsections of that particular black market. In the contemporary era, does the no drug rule still apply within Cosa Nostra policy, or have they decided to open that up in certain respects? Look, I don't know about the United States government becoming softer on narcotic trafficking, as the world recently watched our military bomb several drug smuggling ships and boats. Despite Cosa Nostra rules, what's policy and reality are two different things altogether. There will always be guys in that life that are considered drug pushers. There's way too much money involved. A made man can never date the ex of another made man. Hypothetically, if an associate dated a woman, they break up, and he later gets inducted, would she be off limits because she's the ex of a made man, or because they dated when he was an associate? All right, I think a lot of people get this confused. In certain instances, guys have dated exes who once dated members. It depends. The rule applies to a member's wife or girl. That woman is supposed to be off limits. You just don't go near a member's wife or girl, and associates don't count in that equation. A member can go with the wife or a girlfriend of an associate. Any insight into the situation between Carl Astorino and Peter Argentina? None other than what was reported in the media. Who was the better boss for the Genovese family? Vito Genovese, Anthony Salerno, or Vincent Gigante? Vito Genovese's time as boss was short-lived. Fat Tony was essentially a front boss who received a 100-year sentence as a result, which naturally leaves us with Chin. The proper answer could only come from someone who served under all three, and obviously that's not myself. Here's a question that was sent outside of YouTube. Why didn't Asatoro's crew stand behind him when he was being falsely labeled? It's funny, but this answer defines the mob. Opportunity. Because with Asatoro out of the picture, someone in that crew, or several people, could advance themselves, step into his position, and enrich themselves. And that's exactly what happened. If you haven't liked this video yet, please take the time now and give it a like, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Anyone who'd like to show their appreciation for videos like this, or more importantly, help me to continue making them, you can donate with the Super Thanks icon down below, or through the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. Let me quickly mention my blog, also called Sitdownnews, especially for those of you who still enjoy reading. The site can be found at sitdownnews.com and is a paid subscription. And for the final question, would you ever consider teaching college classes? I feel like you offer very good guidance advice in your videos, and college students would benefit from your advice and opinions. The answer would be yes. And aside from advice and opinions, many colleges now offer organized crime courses. I just happened to speak to one via Zoom, and they were located in Canada. There were many good questions asked, and I hope that that experience was a positive one for all of the students as well. Life is not about harping on mistakes, either your own or others, but learning from them. All of us could learn and move forward with insight on what not to do. And if someone can offer that, I think that's a good thing.